Hi, all. My name is Catherine Metcalf. I'm a professional astrologer, intuitive, and tarot card reader. And I've been studying astrology since I was 13 years old, and I just turned 59 a few weeks ago. So I definitely don't know it all, but it is a fascinating subject. I make my living doing readings for people. And there's just so much going on with the political climate that I had to take a look at, and I have taken a look at Donald Trump's chart for quite a long time. I was one of those rare individuals that actually did predict his becoming president, even though I uh, am a very strong independent and did not vote for him. So please know that going into this. When I do astrology readings, though, I do try to keep my opinions out of it and just look at it from an unbiased scientific point of view. So I did look at both of the charts of Kim Jong Un and Donald Trump because they did have a historic meeting on June 12th of this year, 2018. So, and like you, I so had my heart set and hopeful that this meeting between Kim Jong Un and Donald Trump in Singapore could actually be the beginning of world peace. That truly was my hope for this meeting. Um, and it was a historic event. It hasn't happened, since it's never happened with a sitting president, and it didn't happen before because Kim Jong Un is a merciless dictator with a very bad criminal history. So I think Jimmy Carter was the last one who tried to sit down and talk with him, but just the fact that it took place is always a good thing because having communication is always much safer than screaming at each other over Twitter when their fingers are right next to nuclear bomb buttons. So, okay. So, a few nights before the meeting, I actually watched a show that CNN hosted with Fareed Zakaria, and it was about the history of North Korea. So, what I learned from that, it was fascinating. It was a really good piece. And what I learned from that was that there are three generations, if not more, of people in Korea, North Korea, who absolutely hate America. They are raised that way. They sing hymns about burning America, dropping nuclear bombs on America. That it is very clear that we are their enemy. So Kim Jong Un has wanted again to meet with presidents for many, many years. And like I said before, Jimmy Carter, I think, went on the behalf of Obama, I think. Or Bill Clinton, I can't quite remember. But, anyways, but this is the first time that a sitting president, Donald Trump, sat down with them. So I was curious to look at Kim's chart and see if I could predict the outcome. So I know now, they've already met as I'm recording this, and we kind of all know the outcome, but I did write it prior to it. Does he really have a desire for peace in his chart? And would he be willing to give up his nuclear arms? I really wanted to look at Kim Jong Un's chart for that. What I actually found was a lot of confusion and deception. So there is speculation, actually, even in his birth date, and we don't have his birth time. So I actually just went with a chart that was most commonly used, which was 1983. So anyway, his birth sun is in Capricorn. Now, Capricorns, their personality traits is that they tend to be introverted, disciplined, calculating, and practical. At their worst, they can be cold or cruel. There is a strong desire to be a powerful leader who dominates. So the three strongest planets in his chart are Pluto, Neptune, and Jupiter. So Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. It's a very powerful planet. It's in his chart in Scorpio, and that has the most aspects to all of his other planets. This combination can be really powerful and manifest wonderful things, but Kim Jong-un has chosen to follow the negative path. So Pluto and Scorpios have a drive to dominate others. That has led him to basically be wicked and manipulative. This man has murdered people in his own family. So he is not an empathetic character at all. He is willing to risk destruction to rebuild power. He starved his own people in North Korea to put money towards getting the nuclear arms. So the planet Neptune actually represents wonderful things like spirituality and creativity, but it also has a dark side. And the dark side of Neptune is that it can be very secretive and very deceptive. So his Neptune in his birth chart is at 29 degrees Sagittarius. Anytime you have the number 29 in your chart, that means that you have mastered the energy of that planet and zodiac sign. So that basically means that he has mastered the art of illusion, which is Neptune. So the fact that Neptune is conjunct Mercury, which is communication, and Jupiter, which is expansion, is also aspecting. It means that he is a master of telling big lies and manipulating people into believing them. This man is someone that has a hidden agenda and will do anything to achieve his goals. I absolutely don't trust him. So sorry, you're hearing my dog bark. Okay. Why did Kim want the meeting with Trump? Because he knows that the president of the United States wields authority. He got a photo opportunity to shake hands with one of the most powerful men in the world. He is planning to use these photos now for propaganda. He wants to make himself look indivisible to people in North Korea. Okay. Invincible. So sorry. Okay. So I wanted to know too, would he be willing to remove the nuclear arms? I don't think so. I think that he's worked way too long and too hard at achieving that. And he knows that it's his only true leverage. The written outcome of the meeting said only that Kim would work towards denuclearization. There was no timeline. There were no details given on this, just vague promises, which is very, very sad. So, and I actually think that Korea got more out of it than we did because Trump surprised everybody and said he was going to stop war games that are taking place in North Korea. Yeah, CBS and CNN and I'm sure Fox News all have links to the actual agreement. So I invite you all to go to those and read what was actually agreed to, which was basically nothing different than what they had agreed to months ago. So I did also compare the two men's charts with each other. So in astrology, you can lay out one person's chart and another person's chart and compare their planets and their aspects and how they get along. So I was looking for possibilities of a middle ground, and what I found was actually not very promising. So Kim's Mercury is opposing Trump's Saturn. So Mercury is the planet of communication, and Saturn is the planet of restriction. So making for restrictive and frustrating communications. Trump's Sun in Gemini is conjunct Kim's Uranus, meaning that they could inspire each other to try new things. But if they make demands of each other, it will not work out well. It'll cause friction and contracts will be broken. Okay. Now, Kim Jong-un's Sun is square to Trump's Jupiter, meaning that they have unrealistic expectations of each other, which actually can result in foolish joint ventures. Trump's moon is also opposite Kim's Uranus, meaning that any commitment or contract that they make will be short-lived. I so wish that it could have been a more positive outcome. I think it's good that they're talking, okay? But again, I've tried to look at this from a scientific point of view with just the planets and how they're aspecting each other. So I do believe that astrology speaks the truth. So regardless, I will continue, and I hope that you will continue to visualize world peace for all of us. Thanks for listening. Blessings.